legacy that's long. That's the legend of the Armstrongs. Questions get answered, oh, you didn't know? Let's start the show.
Welcome back to the show. It's Road Dogg and Casio, and you're listening to...
Oh, you didn't know?
What is up, man?
Was that all right? Was that should I do it again?
You nailed it.
Okay.
Oh, you can always do it again.
Nope. I nailed it.
Second take.
Next one will cost you.
Second take for safety? No?
Yep. Okay, here we go. Suck it. Sorry.
What is
premature.
up, my friend?
What's going on? You have something...
That's you. You are always with me.
That's the figure de action.
That's you, bud.
Yeah, that's the DO double. That's
You're always in my ear.
I know. That's sweet.
Hmm?
Did you say I was always in your rear?
Ear. Oh, God.
Ear.
Oh, he fell.
Oh, God. Because he heard me say
jumped
you were
in my
going
rear, too.
He thought you were going to put him in your rear. So
he jumped back there.
So he committed suicide.
No, he jumped back there.
He did. Now you're using him as a back scratcher.
Oh, good.
Hey, the other day, my wife sent me a picture of me in the my action figure like that in the diffuser. The smell thing has like a half a thing of water. It was goldfish crackers and a pawpaw doll is what we call them at home. That's a pawpaw doll.
Pawpaw doll.
Yeah, because it's a doll of me.
Wait, you put goldfish crackers in a diffuser?
I didn't. No, I didn't. My grandson did.
Oh.
It was just a picture of the pawpaw doll and cheese goldfish crackers in the diffuser. And my wife posted it and said, "I'm not sure what scent he was looking for." Oh Lord, yeah. We find stuff all over the place. He's a squirrel.
Well, look, if you don't watch our YTXs on YouTube over at bagofjohnsons.com, you should.
Yeah, you should, for one thing.
We do YTXs, YouTube exclusives over there. And since we recorded last, a couple things happened. One, baby watch is over.
Baby watch is over.
Have been born.
We have goats. We have baby goats.
How about that?
I'm going to say like 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that worked perfectly.
Look at that.
That worked perfectly. So we're not sure which one's a male or female yet. I felt it was too early to put, brands on it or labels on it. Either I'll let them decide. But I did ask consent if I could pick it up, and both of them gave consent. Waddlers, that's what they're called, the little waddlers under his neck.
These danglers right here?
Yeah, this is Rip Taylor. We don't know. We don't have their names yet, but Casio said he looked like Rip Taylor. I think it's a boy. I think that one's a boy and the other one's a girl, but I could have it bass-ackward.
When will you know? A year?
No. Tomorrow. Like tomorrow.
Oh, very
tomorrow,
soon.
Like yeah. If my wife would have looked under there, but she's been busy all day, so she didn't look, and I don't know what I'm looking for, so I didn't look. Right. She'll tell me probably.
Okay.
Tomorrow, I'll go like, okay, but I'm pretty sure we have 1 and 1.
Also, since we recorded, you just popped in and did a little commentary on SmackDown on Fox. No big.
No big deal.
No big.
Well, it was a big deal to me, and I enjoyed myself a great deal. We talked about, we talked about on there just the fact that I felt like I was more of an analyst than I was a color commentator. But I also felt like it was the go home show to a PLE, and we're pushing hard for Survivor Series, and so I get the thinking, and so yeah, I felt like a bit of a third analyst, but I felt I had a really good time. My brother Scott said it was an analyst, and I said, well, whatever floats your boat. Some people put their figure de action in there.
You were going deep into some of the moves and stuff.
Yeah.
Outfits. You got a Jamie Noble shout out like 30 seconds in.
Yeah, because that tank came out, and we literally joked in the production meeting about Jamie Noble driving it because you wouldn't be able to see him.
I thought you said that tank came out.
No, that's not what I said.
You haven't shared that story with us.
No.
That tank came out, and I remember Jamie Noble. And I was like, boy, y'all must have cut away fast. I saw no taints on SmackDown.
Tank.
Oh yeah,
Tank came
the
out.
Tank
Yeah.
came out. Yes.
Anyway, that's hence the Jamie Noble story. We went in a different direction.
A couple things you shattered the internet over is one, you wore your backstage pass.
Yeah.
And two, you left KP hanging. You didn't give him a high five.
Oh, was I supposed to?
Oh my gosh, there's still shots of you not giving him anything.
Well, but wasn't I trying to get my tag off?
I don't know what you were doing. You just never gave him a.
I think I was tagging off.
So long. He just waited.
Well, look,
he was just sitting there.
I'm a huge fan of KP's. Just not as big a fan of him as he is of me. And so, like, look, it's, it felt, maybe we don't high five. Maybe that's not you and I's thing, KP.
He tried.
Maybe we do the old WGHS, the old white guy handshake. You know what I mean?
You left him hanging.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
And it tore up the internet.
Can I tell you what I did one time?
Yeah.
I came in and he came in, and it was one of the first times I'd seen him, and I was sitting down, and people were walking up and shaking my hand, and I was just being a smart ass. I was just like, hey, how you doing, man? I would stand up, but my knees are bad or whatever. I was just saying different things. And he walked by, and I didn't say anything. And somebody said, oh, hey, there's KP. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, you're not important enough to remember your name. It's good to see you. And I just turned away and started doing something else. And then I forget who it was, but somebody said, hey, man, that was pretty harsh. I was like, what was? Like, I was just kind of working the room. You know what I mean? I didn't think about it. But when I did, I felt really bad. And so I went back to him and said, hey, man, I'm really sorry about that. You didn't deserve that. And I kind of took a shot to get a pop, and that was at your expense, and I'm sorry. And he really literally reminded me of that Friday and said, I remember you apologized for something. And man, we play rough here. You come at me out there. And I said, well, I don't want to just come at you out there. Like, I'm not just going to bury you the whole time. So I don't know. It felt good. It did feel good. I enjoyed myself. I asked
you hanging. Yeah.
I asked at the end of the show, I asked the boss, I hope I didn't screw up your show. No, it was great. Okay, thank you.
That's all you needed to hear right there.
That's all I needed to hear, man. I don't know who I'm supposed to go to validate my parking, or if we're gonna see if there's a new deal involved in my commentary work. Am I doing Mania? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, now that we're gonna
have to stay tuned, right?
I think so. I'm gonna have to start selling backstage laminates as merchandise.
Yeah, that's a new thing. I think we should start selling lanyards.
Definitely, yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Definitely, yeah.
Did you do Rain Man LA Night?
Yeah, Rayleigh Night.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Definitely talking to the people.
People talk to you.
SmackDown comes on at 7. SmackDown every Friday
Central.
at 7.
It must be definitely 7 Central.
Central, yes. Monday Night Raw comes on Mondays.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Park in the driveway, drive in the parkway. Let me talk to you. All the people said. All right, dog. We are coming off of Thanksgiving.
Oh man, I'm fat.
Huh?
You heard me.
The fact that me and you survived is a win.
Yeah. Just for how long is the question. So, I mean, there's an over-under, and you can get on, I think it's gamblingaddicts.com. I'm not sure what. But get in on it. See which one of us kicks it first.
Until then, we're gonna
have some fun.
We're getting back on our AG1 and getting back on it through December.
Ooh.
Dog, we are...
hey, was it good, though?
Was
yours
fantastic. You know what my wife did for the first time ever? No, she she had an idea. She's
gonna shove you down a mountain again.
If you think she watches 1 second of any creative content I've ever done in my life,
excuse me,
you know how a wife is. She has no interest.
Yeah.
Let me show you what she did. She made...
While we're doing this and sitting here laughing, she's flipping big-ass tires and climbing ropes and stuff.
she worked out last week, and she works out like 5 days a week, but today she's going to try to do it faster.
Oh, wow.
You know,
wow.
That's what they do. They just do it again
and do it
faster.
I watched a special on not Neil, and not
DeGrasse
Bob,
Tyson,
and not Bob, Lance Armstrong. Was a 45-minute special on the science of Lance Armstrong. It didn't go into doping and all that. It did cover it, but it talked more about he was running 10Ks when he was 10 years old. And his mom was also a marathon runner, and then he fell in love. It was interesting to watch it, and then it was very interesting to watch the science of Shimano bicycle parts and all that. To watch them shave what is in the Tour de France is 190 kilometers, or I don't know. I may just be throwing that number out my yin yang. But it's a really long time, you know what I mean? It's a really long way. And so it broke down the science of what the teams and the riders and how they ride in certain conditions, and could if they made his gear out of a different material, it cut like 7 minutes off his total thing. Jeez. Like it was such a cool thing to see, and so informative, and so like, oh my God, they cut all that time off of his just by he hadn't even started riding yet, you know what I mean? But if he rides like he did last year, he's going to do it 19 minutes faster or whatever, and that's wild. And that's unheard of. So yeah, it was really cool. Sorry I went off on a tangent there, but that was a cool physical science kind of thing. Me and my daughter watched it, and she had to watch it for extra credit and write a report on it. So she was on her computer the whole time we were watching it, and I was like, "Oh," and she's like, will you just stop talking? You just. I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry."
I can't wait till she reads your report, and in the middle it says, "Stop talking, Dad." Oh, sorry, I forgot to edit that out.
Yeah.
What she did for Thanksgiving, she made sausage balls but made out of Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit mix
with sausage in them. Yeah.
So the biscuits you get at Red Lobster.
Oh yeah.
They got that mix on the shelves now.
With pig in them.
Oh, she added it in there and made it out of that. It was made for the biscuits, but
was it to die for?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, because I want to eat them.
I feel like I got them still stacked in here.
I want to dip them in something too. Did you dip them in anything?
There was a couple in some mustard, but it was all right. You know, normal sausage balls I like with mustard.
Yeah,
wasn't really the jam. I'll have to dial that in.
You didn't need the extra
little
flavor.
Kick. Yeah, it had the flavor. Yeah. Wow. We'll dial in the sauce.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that was a good add-on.
That's impressive. I had several houses to go to, and so we just had a little stuff at our house. But man, my wife always can cook really good Thanksgiving and Christmas. I told you this year we're going to try to do like an Italian Christmas, like lasagna fritta and spaghetti bolognese.
I can't wait to hear about it.
All that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll see how that goes.
Such the good stuff.
It's the good stuff. Hey, do we have to talk about wrestling, or can we still talk about food?
We'll talk about food first. Let's get to our meme of the week. Let's set the tone. Meme of the week. We've never seen it. Our producer Dom's going to throw it up there and set us. My girl said no more sex in bed until you put a ring on it. Hope she likes it. And for those that are just listening, it is now the bed is inside a WWE ring now. Put a ring on it. That's good.
She likes it. That was a good one. If not, drop an elbow from the top rope. Kairi Sane style.
All right, Dog. We are recording this just before Survivor Series.
Oh, yeah.
But this will air after Survivor Series.
I know, but it'll be the festive weekend. There'll be football and Survivor Series and turkeys and cheese balls and sausage cheese balls and my brother's ball, whatever. I'm just saying it'll be people around and festive.
Today, Dog, we are discussing the end of your 1998 as a tag team with Billy Gunn of the New Age Outlaws before you became hardcore champion.
So I really don't remember this part. When we get to that hardcore champion stuff, whoo, your guess is as good as mine.
We're not going to get there, so we're going to get to just the end of 98.
But I hope we do get there so I can relive it a little bit.
What is Road Dogg like at the end of 98? You in a bad spot? Not rock bottom yet?
Not rock bottom yet for sure, but I'm on my way. Home, sweet home.
It's at the end of the cul-de-sac, and you just took a turn.
It's just, I'm just got to go down one more road to get to rock bottom. But yeah, Road Dogg was rich and running and on a lot of drugs. And anything that would alter my mind and get me away from all this, take me away from all this death. No, I don't know, man. I was scared. I'm still that way inside my head. I'm fear. My whole life and choices and decisions were all fear based, and it goes back to whatever it goes back to. But it doesn't matter what it goes back to, because now it's managing, becoming conscious of it, and then trying to manage. And I hope I froze one time like this or something. But anyway, just falling. You know what I mean? Falling down.
Well, let's get into the meat of this. All right, we're coming off Survivor Series 1998. And at the end of the night, the new corporate champion is The Rock with Vince McMahon. Did you envision DX and the corporation being a new big program?
Yeah. Well, I was hoping it would be. You know what I mean? And that's, the corporation's going to be on TV, and so anytime you're married to them or dancing with them, you're going to be in a good spot on the program, and in a positive light, even if you're getting your A-whooped, you know what I mean? So I was hoping it would be a good battle, a good 3-month battle.
On the Raw after Survivor Series, it's you, Billy, and X-Pac taking on the Oddities. That's right.
Yeah.
Kurgan. Golga, who was John Tenta, and Giant Silva. What'd you think of the Oddities?
So I knew Kurgan. From Memphis. Quick, funny Kurgan spot was like I shot him into the turnbuckle. Or no, he shot me. I said, shoot me in and take a big boot. And he didn't hear me. And he shot me in. As he shot me in, he said, what? And so I didn't say anything. And as he came running in, I just kicked him in the face really hard. And but he came running in really hard. So I felt like it was a perfect storm. And then I immediately was like, I'm so sorry. Because he's a huge man. And a real nice guy, too. Loved him in 300. But I didn't know Silva, and Tenta I had just met, but I just respected the crap out of him because he was John Tenta. You know what I mean? He was right. So I just was scared of him, kind of. Not scared in a bad way, but in a respectful way. You know what I mean? Like you humble yourself in front of the dude who's humble and can humble you. So it was fun. Like I knew Tenta could work. I knew Kurgan could work. I'd worked with them guys. I didn't know what Silver brought to the table, and so I was like, oh God. But I figure if he can stand there, I can bump off of him. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I knew we could have a decent match with just about anybody there, especially at this time we were over. You know.
Isn't it crazy when John Tenta is the small guy, as in short at 6'7", 6'8"?
Remember he had like a funny mask and like a Cartman shirt on or something.
Kurgan like and Silva's huge.
I'm sure Tenta was like, Jiminy Christmas, I'm going out here doing this. But he did it with he was just a great person, a great human being. I think he's still alive, isn't he?
Who? John Tenta?
Yeah.
No, he passed away in 2006.
Oh crap! I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know that. And again, he was a great person.
If you go out of your way if you have not. I watch it every time I come across it. The shoot fight he got in with the Japanese wrestler, where the guy started working stiff with him, and he finally went, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" I mean, in the ring, he's basically like, "What's going on?" And the dude starts hitting stiff some more, and it's on. And they're two big boys pounding each other, buddy.
Yeah.
And Tenta, like you said, can humble you, man.
He's a man, and
woo!
But really a nice, humble dude who was always like super respectful, no matter who you were. You know, so he was a great person.
You said you didn't know him at the time going in. Any interactions besides in ring with Giant Silva?
No. There was also a language barrier too.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't understand a word I said, and I didn't understand a word he said. You know, but it was you.
Right.
You know, whatever.
And he did it, and then you went down.
Yeah, and you go like, oh, concussion.
Also at ringside,
you're supposed to. It was supposed to be not real.
That was a real heavy chop.
Yeah, it felt like a tree branch just fell on my head.
It was light to him.
Yeah.
At ringside that night, Insane Clown Posse.
Oh.
I know you've done the Gathering of the Juggalos, but think back to the end of '98.
Yep.
Give me any memories of hanging out with Shaggy Two Dope.
I have a story about either this night or you're going to ask me about something here in a minute that I think is the answer to this. So I do have some stories. What's the next question in the notes?
You guys get the win after Shaggy Two Dope misses and hits Golga, and after the match, the Headbangers attack you.
But in the notes it said just you, doesn't it?
Why just you?
Yeah. So that was an interesting part, and I thought, oh, there's a part I can tell a story for. So I think this is the exact one. So we get done with that, and we turn around, and Headbangers have Shaggy Two Dope, and
Violent J,
Chris Kringle, Violent J, and here I am looking like this. I call him Chris Kringle, but on the ground. So the Headbangers they're on the ground with these guys, and I think I've actually told this story before on here, but it's probably not. I'm probably just full of crap. But they're all like, it looks like two wrestling matches going on the ground, like shoot wrestling matches. And so by the time we get over there, we just start beating the crap out of everybody, me and Billy. And Headbangers popped up and started fighting back with us, and the other two guys never got up and came on. We were all supposed to fight because we were supposed to be a triple threat tag match with those other guys, and the Headbangers beat them up on the runway. You never saw that part on air, and then we just saw us fight off. And then I don't know who came to me and said, "Okay, that match next week they're not going to be in it." And look, that was nothing to do with. I don't know if there was heat between Chaz and Glenn and those guys. I don't know the story there, but somebody took somebody down, and the other one took the other one down, and they went to shooting on each other, and not punching each other in the face or anything, but just a manhandling wrestling match, you know. Anyway, so at that time, '98 especially, everybody, and this sounds braggadocious, and I do not mean it to sound that way, and we'll come back to this probably a million times, but everybody was really good. Like, everybody was really good. Like, with the timing, with ring presence, with their character, with their, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was, there was a lot, not everybody, there was a lot of talent firing on all cylinders. And look, of course, the few cylinders that I didn't have were athleticism and so forth. But the one I did have was charisma and mic skills. And I wasn't the best promo, never have been, never thought I was. Had a great catchphrase that carried the day, and still continues to carry it for me, thank goodness. But like, everybody was really good. And so then these guys got put into it because of who they were. And then it was found out that, hey, they're not any good at this. Like, we can't. And they've gotten better. These guys have gotten better. It was just very early on. Boom, that it went down, whatever went down. And we were like, hey, we're gonna defend the titles against the guys that don't know what they're doing. Like it just came out weird. It all came out weird. I don't know if Billy said that or not. I'm just kidding. We'll edit all that crap out. Just in case I go back to the gathering.
Also at this time, China had just returned from her facial surgery. What did you think of the change? Would you talk to her about it? Or is it just, hey, you did your thing?
Yeah, I'm sure, and I do not remember saying this, but I'm sure I told her, oh, great. You know what I mean? But the bigger thing to me is, you know, people want to hear other people's thoughts on stuff like this because they want to hear you go like, bleh. But the truth of it is, it's about the person in the mirror, right? Like if I felt really strongly like I didn't, look, I don't want to have a fat gut. I'm a skinny guy with a fat gut, and it's drooped down to my butt, and I'm a fat midsection doughboy. You know what I mean? And that's what I am. And I could probably go in and get lipo or ice sculpting or whatever they do and take care of some of it. But I don't care that much. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. But if I did, and I did that, like I would do that because it would make myself feel better about myself. And good God, I think we could all use a dose of that. I wish I could go get a surgery. I think they call them addictomy. But it's what it is it helps your self-esteem. It helps your you know, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's all. Boston makes me feel good. I ain't afraid
no ghost. Oh, this was also the episode where Hawk climbed the Titantron and Draws pushed him off. What did you think of all this at the time? Hawk, of course, as we know, well known now, drugs and not being sober, and now looking back, what do you think of that story?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. And probably because it hits close to home with me. You know what I mean? It's me. It's me and Hawk are partying on the road, working with each other. And you know what I mean? So it's me, and it's me during that time. And so it's very close to home. And look, they were totally going to do it from a recovery angle. Like you establish his behavior, and then you go through the process of detox and do all, you know what I mean? So they had the right intentions about doing it. Had the same idea with me when Brett Favre did it. We talked about that. When Brett Favre went in for all the Vicodin and stuff, they came to me and said, hey, we want to put you through rehab. And I told you, I said, oh my God, my kids would see that crap. And in retrospect, you go, you goddamn idiot, your kids saw you every night at home. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you were living. Your kids would see it. It makes me want to slap myself in the face. But look, that's where my head was at, man. Anywhere but I wanted to get anyway. It was bad juju. But that's where they were going with the Hawk story. So like I said, I don't know. Looking back on it now, I still like because to me, if you put anybody up on a platform like that with a serious thing about like recovery's life or death. Recovery's not something you go like, oh, well, I'm going to, okay, I'll take that back and I'll retract all that. Recovery is life or death for me. For me. If I go back to drinking and taking pills, snorting cocaine and smoking crack, I will be dead, and it won't take long. And so I know that. That's if I snort it, if I drink it, if I swallow it, I'm gonna die soon. And so that's what keeps me away from it. You know what I mean? So my point is, you prop me up, you prop Hawk up, you prop Brett Favre up, and a year and a half in, he crumbles and he relapses, and it's, no, you don't prop people up in that kind of crap. You know what I mean? You don't prop people up that are in recovery, because we all got clay feet. And so add a little liquid to them, we all come crumbling down. You know what I mean? And so it's I don't know if it's something to be played with, but I don't know. They do that on Law and Order. They do that on, you know what I mean, on Celebrity Rehab or what, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always weird to me. Look, I believe in God and I believe in, but I don't want to teach Sunday school. I'm not qualified. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know where that came from actually. I'm just on it now.
Came from the heart, baby. It came from the heart.
Yeah, it did, from my Bret Hart.
The next week, the Outlaws are taking on
You just
Scorpio.
didn't even sell that at all.
Do you want me to do?
No, just here we go. Too cold Scorpio.
Who's got a better heart, you or Bret Hart?
Probably him. Mine's got cholesterol and all kind of crap in it.
The next week, the Outlaws are taking on Scorpio and Bob Holly of the Job Squad.
Oh yeah, I was a member of the Job Squad for a while. We talked about that.
Looking back now, as we do with the old rose-colored glasses, was the Job Squad too inside baseball with the name? Looking back,
So, yes.
because now everybody knows it, but then it was
but then
what?
nobody did, and so yes, it was, but it was also a time when if stuff got over backstage, it would get over in pop culture. And that's the truth. And so that among the boys was a thing. And it was a people, because there were enough people that knew, you know what I mean? Some people know. And so it was just that time of Attitude Era, trying some crap, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
10 years before that, 15 years before that, you wouldn't have said that in a million years. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have said that for all the money in my back pocket. I don't have.
Is that a lot?
I don't have any pockets.
I mean, you are on commentary on SmackDown now, so.
Well, I think
you got that Corey Graves money.
They gave me that Depends that I was wearing, and
And a
they
backstage
gave me my backstage pass back.
You personally are starting to incorporate a lot more of your punches, doing the shake, rattle, and roll, followed by your dance into a knee drop.
Yes.
What do you remember of you changing your moves around here and the evolution of your character at this time?
I'm gonna look. I don't know if anybody saw. I shared it on Twitter, but Cody Deaner. Cody Deaner, yeah. I think his first name's Cody. I know he's Deaner.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's Cody Deaner. And I'm sorry for not even knowing that for sure. But he great guy. I've known him a long time through TNA, and he spent like his career there and made a name for himself. And he did a thing where he talked about he thought I was a genius because of how far I've gotten in the industry without having any talent. But I'm just kidding. That is totally not what he said at all. He said how I made it without much athleticism. And look, if I let my ego listen to his words, they might have been biting. But if I let my truth, my honest with myself, which is the hardest thing of all, he was spot on. You know what I mean? And it made me, it humbled me a little bit in a good way. It was like, okay, man, he's right. I've made it a long time in this career. You know what I mean? In this business, I've had a career actually in it. And I wasn't very good. I wasn't very good at wrestling. I wasn't athletic. I didn't look great. So it's really, really cool that he said that. It opened my eyes to, man, I guess I got a more brains than brawn, I guess, is how he laid it out. And it made me feel good about myself.
You said you didn't look like the stereotypical wrestler presentation.
Yeah. And that's 100% accurate. And I didn't dress like, you know what I mean? I wore fully clothed. And so, yeah, he was, everything he said was spot on. And it made me think. And I appreciate that because it made me come down off my ego for a second and be honest with myself. And then after I felt good about myself because he also really put me over. You know what I mean? Like, he said a lot of really great things about me. And I don't know how true they are, but the other crap he said was.
So, what made
I don't know
you
why I was saying that. What was I talking about, Cody?
We were talking about You started incorporating more punches, doing the shake, rattle, roll, your knee drop. You're kind of evolutionizing your character.
Exactly. So back then, I apologize for,
That was good. We needed to get that shout out for him, too.
Yeah, for Cody. I did
great.
want to say that, too. So, yeah, thank you. So I don't think there was an evolution of moves per se, because I'm not the guy that did a bunch of moves. That's where the whole correlation with Cody Deaner came from. But I wasn't the guy that did all that. What I did start becoming more comfortable with was, look, I would try crap and be silly and it'd be stupid and it'd go like, oh, I'm not doing that again. That didn't even feel right. It didn't look good. It didn't, whatever. And it wasn't necessarily a move. It was more of a dance move before I did this, and it was the stuff I was good at and not the stuff I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm a big, tall, skinny white guy that could do the worm a little bit. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I ain't, in the movie Breaking 3, but I can do enough of it to where you go like, oh, and if I don't do it too long, you don't see through it. You know what I mean? And so it was more about me finding a comfortable spot like that. And look, it's more about like a little moment rather than a big like athletic spot where we do this and that and this and that. And because I found out that those little things, those little idiosyncrasies that I would do or I was working with during all this time, got over more than moves did. And so why incorporate more moves into my repertoire when I can incorporate wiggle, wiggle, knee? You know what I mean? Like that was the whole thing. Bang, bang, bang. Big one, wiggle, wiggle, knee, 1, 2, kick out. I back you up to Billy. I shoot you to your partner. He reverses it. Your partner knees me in the back because Billy stepped through the ring when we came in and trolled the ref. You know what I mean? We had a way we did it that worked, and it was just about, okay, let me get in and get my shine in. Billy, I'll tag you. They tag me back in. They cut me off and we get the heat. We tag you back in for the hot tag. The heat then is just the heels to play with me. You know what I mean? And I will, as a babyface, and this doesn't happen a lot today, I will, as a babyface, decide when I've taken enough. And I will decide, and I don't mean to start my comeback, but I mean, okay, now you've just beat me down here like a rag doll. I'm going to fight back some now, and you're going to have to shut me down. I'll tell you who was the best at that, if you go back and watch, was Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard, a lot of people didn't like to work with Tully, and I understand that as a lazy babyface, but the truth is it was because of my laziness that I understand it. He made a babyface earn it, and I mean earn it. Even during the comeback, he would take a bump from your punch and pop up and punch you. And a lot of people today would just take a bump or something and flip out. And the truth of it is, no, bro, we're in my comeback. You can punch me all you want to, but I'm going through you. You know what I mean? I'm going through you, and your punches aren't. But he made you earn it, man. He would make you earn it. And I hope I'm not talking too inside baseball here, but I got on a rant there about a good, just wrestling, because I love it. Mamma mia.
Producer Dom put that up
like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, and now you're like squirrel every time.
Yeah.
Can you delete it, Dom? Can you delete it? Now he's doing other Italian phrases.
No.
I don't know if you can say that.
Oh, God, I said it.
You're supposed to clean that off. I think it's around the end, right?
Oh, it's Peppa Pig.
Oh. What's Stregonona?
I'm not sure. I can't stop to eat enough.
I don't think it smells good.
Oh, children's book. I can't stop.
Right.
I can't step.
I can't stop.
He's a little Italy.
Back to wrestling. This is well, it's not really. It's fun wrestling.
Yeah.
Because Mankind comes out with a leaf blower and hits Billy with it, and it leads to Scorpio getting the pin. What? What are we doing coming out with leaf blowers?
Oh, it was Mick Foley.
Yeah,
like
Mankind.
Lucky
it
just wasn't whoever. It wasn't lucky it wasn't a bowling ball. You know what I mean? So you just thank God it was a leaf blower and go, okay, Ryobi leaf blower, I can handle. Bam! You're welcome, Ryobi. How about some of them batteries?
Also, at this time, there's a lot of teases of you and Billy leaving DX and joining the corporation.
Yep.
Was that ever seriously considered, or were they just teases?
I have no idea. I mean, I guess they were teases because of where we're going to find ourselves here shortly. But
Did you have talks about it?
No.
Okay.
No, it was all just to get to infiltrate like a Trojan horse. But even if there was talks behind my back about it, which is where all the talks would have been, I would have been happy about it. You know what I mean? Put me in the corporation. I'll be your new stooge.
Right. As you said earlier, they're going to be on TV.
You're going to be on television. I'm going to be standing straight up next to you. And I'm tall, too, so I might be behind you.
Nice.
You know what I
Is that
mean?
how you stand when you're behind somebody?
You know what I mean?
In the main event, The Rock would defend the WWE.
You see a lot of that, me and X-Pac doing that in the old DX promos when Hunter's talking. We're all just standing there trying to get our heads in the shot. And then we read good signs, too.
Look like owls.
Who?
In the main event, The Rock would defend the WWF title against X-Pac, and the commissioner, Shawn Michaels, comes out to send you and Boss Man and Shamrock to the back. But Shawn takes the chair away from Rock, but blasts X-Pac to join the corporation, and Rock retains the title. Whoa.
No wonder Shawn sent us to the back.
First of all,
he knew I wouldn't stand for that. If he hit me with that chair, I would lay down and stay down.
I've heard from people Shawn Michaels is really good at wrestling.
He's not. I'm going to tell you this. He's not bad.
I don't think he can handle you, Boss Man, and Shamrock, though.
In wrestling, yeah.
That was a good move.
I mean, you saw what he said. Go.
Yeah.
And you saw what we did. We went.
You went, but
yeah,
that was a good move.
Smart. He's smart.
But what's it like having Shawn back with the company on television?
Look, I think I've covered this before. Everybody knows I'm a fan of his, but in any role, you're just happy to have him back because, look, he's a huge star. He's Mr. WrestleMania, and to have him back in any aspect is a positive one.
Excuse me.
No, that's okay. Put that in your beard. I had a little oyster, little possum on the half shell.
Well, if it would have came out, we would have paused recording. I wouldn't have known what to do with this for the rest of the show. Woo! That would have been awkward having to do this.
You like Rob? I'm Bob Dole.
I was like, so tell me about Shawn Michaels.
And it's just dripping.
Looked like a weird Spider-Man.
Oh. His webs are green.
Were you,
Mama?
Were you surprised to see he wasn't put back into DX, or do you think he wouldn't have fit in at DX, or was just hey, this is the awesome swerve him joining the corporation?
Yeah, I think it was an awesome swerve for one thing, and I also don't think he was ready to come back yet, and so it was. If he would have come back, I don't know. I think his talents were better used against us. His star power, all of that. But look, I would have loved to have him back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I said, when you're attached to people like that, you get some television time, and that's what it's all about.
Give me your thoughts looking back on this one. Since we're talking about this Raw episode, it would also feature the Undertaker attempting to embalm Steve Austin. A little bit.
Well, he was just going to take his blood out.
Well, yeah, no big deal.
No, he's just going to take it all out.
Right.
Fill him full of clownblahide.
Yeah.
And
then it's good.
Then we're good to go. He'll be mission accomplished. He didn't get to it though. I think for some reason somebody stopped him.
If you had to look back to the end of '98, who's writing? Hey guys, I think Undertaker should embalm Steve Austin. Any idea?
I don't know, and I honestly don't know. Like
I
don't remember who was writing at the time, and look, maybe it was. You had to have people agreeing with that. You know what I mean? So you got different talent going. Like okay, and it was I don't want to say a stretch. I want to say a dive into the Undertaker's ministry a little bit and is evil and like, I don't know. You know, Cain zapped a dude's testicles with a battery charger. So we're doing the same things here. You rolling the dice again? You rolling the dice again?
No, that was a laugh. I wasn't ready for testicles to be mentioned.
Yeah. Well,
and zapped.
Yeah, zapped. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Dog.
Manscaped. Sorry.
No. Dog, if you feel zapped, you might want to check out our friends over at AG1, my friend.
AG1.
Woo. You if you've been feeling sluggish, you take AG1. That might feel like a zap to the testicle.
It will definitely pick you up from the inside out.
And if you are a longtime listener, you might know that me and Dog have been drinking AG1 basically since we started doing this together. When you drink AG1 daily, boy, it helps that foundational nutrition supplement, gives you that energy, and I'll be honest, for me, helps me more relaxed and focused as well, Dog.
Yeah, that's they have all kind of stuff in them, and I can't begin to list them all. But imagine if you had to buy all of those different supplements and all those different bottles, and how many hundreds and hundreds, maybe into thousands of dollars it would cost. And what you get here is for less than $3, I believe, is the deal. Is dang sure less than your cup of coffee at Starbucks. One shot a day, and I don't mean a physical shot. I mean one scoop a day is what I meant to say. One scoop a day, and there's your whole, like you said, foundational health. And it starts with your gut, and my gut, you can hear it from a mile away.
AG1, they call it foundational nutrition supplement, supports your body's universal needs, like you said, Dog, gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. Dog, how about this?
The fact that, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but the fact that you brought up the immune system and the boost that it gives your immune system, all those things that we need. Look, COVID ain't going nowhere. The flu ain't going nowhere. Seasonal sicknesses ain't going nowhere. To optimize your immune system with one scoop a day is called #convenience.
It's got vitamin C and zinc. That's going to help support your immune health. And AG1 has a team of doctors and scientists. It is tested for 950 contaminants and NSF certified for sport, and it is formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards, Dog. And right now, AG1 is the supplement that we trust to provide the support to our body's needs daily, and that's why they've been a partner for so long. So if you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/DOGG. That's drinkag1, the number 1.com/DOGG.
Sorry, I was reading down there what Dom said he's been drinking.
Check it out.
Check it out. AG1. He's not drinking that, but he should be.
Yeah, Dom, switch it over. AG1. That's going to help you. And Dom needs all the help he can get. So, everyone, check him out. Check him out and tell him Dog sent you. All right, Dog. In the late November house show loop, the Outlaws defeated D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry every night over 7 shows. At this time, think about late 98. How was Mark Henry coming along in the ring?
A good, big, strong dude in the ring. You know what I mean? Like he's getting better. He's getting reps. He's learning about when to do what. But when he does what, it still gets you a little bit sometimes. But he's a big, huge, strong dude, and he don't know how strong he is because he's a teddy bear.
The house show business is insane around this time. Now, look, we're getting there now. If you see the numbers that WWE is putting up now at their shows around that are not televised, but back then, the house shows, you look back at some of these names and cards and attendance-wise as well, I mean, it was crazy to see how hot it all was.
I remember Billy would walk out and look out the curtain and go like, there ain't even anybody sitting in that seat up there.
One seat.
Yeah. And I'm like, put your boots on. Shut up.
All right, dog, I got to bring this up. Don't know if you heard this yet.
Uh-oh.
But your boy, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, was talking about you on the My World pod.
Oh.
He said,
I bet it's sweet what he said.
I want to see if you agree with it.
Okay.
He said you were stiffer with the guitar than he was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm stiff with everything. Like I was,
okay.
I hit people hard, like I did, and they hit me hard back. Sometimes they hit me so hard that I would like not hit them back.
Not sure who started it, but you're in the cycle now, right?
Yeah, now I'm on the Ferris wheel. But yeah, no, I'll agree with that. But he also has kind of mastered it. Like I only swung it a couple of times. He's probably swung it 500 times. You know.
What's the hardest guitar shot you took?
Oh, there was some in that WWA, the World Wrestling All Stars over in Australia.
From Jeff or from somebody else?
Yeah, no, from Jeff. From Jeff.
Has anyone else hit you with a guitar?
Yes, Boss Man hit me in the guitar, hit me in the back with a guitar, and not over my head, but on the back.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It just hit me like a big, huge ping pong paddle, slapping me in the back. Oh, I went off on him afterwards. I said, why didn't you, oh. I was so mad. I was so angry with you, Wayne.
How'd that end up?
What's that?
Are y'all scrapping? Or
No, we
he
didn't
says
fight.
didn't mean to.
No,
then
we
keep
didn't
moving
fight.
on.
He said, "You suck, kid." I was like, "Oh, yes, sir."
On Sunday Night Heat, the Vince McMahon Stooges, Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, and Sergeant Slaughter are trying to recruit the Outlaws, and so are Vince and Shane. Dog, let's take a quick break to tell everybody about our new friends over at Vita. Yeah, it's a new, amazing app. Vita, you've got to get it. They've created a new form of advertising that eliminates spam and allows everyone to get paid for their time and attention. You simply go to Vita.io to download the Vita app and select a free second phone number so you no longer have to worry about giving away your personal number. So now when a telemarketer calls your Vita number, they'll need to pay to get their message through. And the best part is the app is completely free. Brands are finally realizing the value of rewarding their customers for their time and attention. Our new sponsor, Crowd Health, is using it, and not only a fun way to support the show, but you can also earn some money in the process. So please, try it out today by downloading the app at Vita.io or by calling 509-WRESTLE. That's 509-WRESTLE, and then follow the link. That's 509-973-7853 and help support the show. Call now, and you'll earn your first $1 just for downloading. And thank you to Crowd Health and Vita for supporting the Oh You Didn't Know podcast.
Mm-hmm.
First off, Dog, let's get some
They
stories.
all wanted us, bro. They all wanted us.
Let's get some stories while we've mentioned them now. Give me a Pat Patterson story.
So I don't have a Pat story that I love any more than one of the other ones, but what I loved was Pat Patterson. Pat and I, he knew my father. He worked with my father. He loved my father. Like he was really a Bob Armstrong fan and was a fan of mine too. And we had a relationship no matter where he was or where I was. When we saw each other, it was big smiles and big hugs. You know what I mean? And so it was, I had times out with him when he's singing karaoke. I've had time, and I was hammered. I've had times with him when I've been sober where maybe he was drinking and I've been sober, and we've had great conversations for 2 hours at a time. And so, man, time spent with Pat Patterson, he was a great guy. And to be honest, this sounds weird, but he was the first ever gay guy that I knew. And he taught me a lot in life about relationships. And that sounds crazy, but that's just the truth of it. So he he taught me a lot about that, you know, and it made me think about, because we talked about this a lot. He used to have to sleep with girls because the guy had 2 girls, you know what I mean? Like, and he didn't like it. Like, it was like so to me, that's incredibly loyal to your friends, and he couldn't say anything. Like, oh my God, you couldn't be you. You had to hide yourself and live. And that's, man, it just makes me think, you know what I mean? It makes me think, like, you gotta have, like, if a person's passing away and their spouse happens to be the same sex, they need to be in that hospital room with that person. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. I think that's not even a deal anymore. But, like, in moments like that happen and make you go, oh, we've been doing this wrong. Like, this ain't right. We got to fix this. And hopefully we're continuing to fix stuff like that.
Well, it's like a lot of those situations. It comes out of ignorance. And,
100%.
Like you said, you learned.
100%. But that was, I don't know. It almost made our relationship even better. I don't know. I loved him. I loved him to death. Who was the other one? Briscoe. I got a lot of puking Briscoe stories. He's got a weak stomach like
really?
Lawler. So yeah, anytime you would. A bad fart would happen, or a bad anything.
Like,
he would
actual stuff's coming out.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad with it. He was also a bad dude, and I loved talking about like him and his brother and Robert Fuller and my dad going out on a boat in Chastain Lake, and between TV and this other show, and boy, we was so screwed up, and this happened, you know. And you just hear stories like that, and I never heard stories like that about my dad. You know what I mean? I've heard stories like that about my brother from, you know, Dean Malenko's, the Eddie Guerrero's, and, you know, everybody that Benoit and everybody that kind of hung out with them back in the WCW days, but never about my dad. And so Gerald always told me good stories about my dad, just having a good time when he was a young man, you know.
He's 77. Could he still hook you if he wanted to?
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And I'm not even kidding. Look, when a guy knows how to do it and you do not,
you're done.
Age doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's all
done.
about technique and grip strength and wrist strength. And he'd kill me. I ain't too proud to say it either.
And last but not least, let's talk about your fellow serviceman, Sergeant Slaughter.
Why you laughing like that? Hey, so
he's not really a serviceman. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah. I just couldn't get it out. I was popping myself.
That's true. Well, I was.
That's what I meant.
I was a Marine Corps rifleman.
I was waiting on you to go.
My military occupational specialty was 0311. Dom said he LOL'd as well.
For one, I knew you were, and you had your Marine Corps shirt, and I was waiting on you to go. Well,
no, I'm glad you did, because look, I love Sarge. Sarge is a great guy, and Sarge comes from a time when you kayfabe, bro. You kayfabe. And now looking back, look, I don't, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, stolen valor is when you get perks from being in uniform and show up to get veterans discount or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he'd never done that one time in his career. He was in the movies and a phony baloney wrestler character. You know what I mean? Like he never. So anyway, there's a line there that I feel he didn't cross personally.
Well, for me and mine, it worked because we
100%.
Loved some Sergeant Slaughter.
Me too. Tell me about how hot you were when he turned heel.
Oh,
yeah,
what are you
I wanted
doing
to kill him.
To me again?
I wanted to kill him
out again. You got me hot again.
Yeah, I was in a fighting hole when that happened.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're really like this.
Oh yeah, so I was like, I knew it was a work, but I was still hot.
Still. Give me a Slaughter story.
When I was in, this is not a good story at all, but I'm just going to tell it anyway. Sarge was we worked with DX a little bit when he was the general manager, but then he started working backstage a little more, and I had bought a BMX bike, like a trick bike, that I would just put on the truck, and at TVs sometimes, if we didn't have nothing to do, I would go ride it in the parking lot or whatever. And so one time I was like, okay, this has run its course. This bike thing has run its course, you know what I mean? And Sarge came up to me and said, man, my stepson is a huge fan, of you, and he's a huge fan of BMX. And so that bike, man, that looks awesome. I mean, he was just putting it over, and I was like, hey, how can you get it to him? And he was like, wait, what? And so I gave him the bike and said, give it to him and tell him I gave it to him and he can ride, It was probably a $500 bike, but I was probably making $500,000 a quarter. You know what I mean? So it was like, give it to you, can have the bike. And also I want 6 more cars. So that's my one story. And he ended up telling me like that kid loved that bike, man. And he rode that bike. And so that was actually a backhanded to put me over, I think. I didn't mean for it to come out that way.
It's a feel-good story.
I just don't have another good story. Oh, wait, I think it was Sergeant Slaughter that got run over by Ronnie or Donnie Harris on a motorcycle. They slid on that big thing. Yeah, I think it was Sergeant Slaughter, and he was gone for a while because he fell on the bike and hurt himself.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'm sorry I put myself over. That wasn't how it was supposed to be.
I didn't feel that way. I felt it was a good feel-good story here at the holiday season.
Okay, thanks. Give to your friends.
Eventually, you and Billy walk out of the skybox, and Vince puts the heat on the Stooges. Would you have been interested or excited to turn heel and join the corporation? Like you said, you wanted to be on TV. That would have been fine.
I would have loved it. Because what if we took the place of Briscoe and Patterson? You know what I mean?
Incredible.
While we were still in an age where we could work. You know what I mean? Like, look, me and Billy, I think, had a match with those two guys. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we did. And they beat the crap out of me.
Well, now that you mention it, I've never asked you really about exact figures. You don't have to say, but how much merchandise money were you making with DX?
I think the biggest one was like $180 a quarter. You know what I mean? Like $180,000, $180.
That was just yours.
Yeah.
That was just yours. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, they were big. At this time, they were big, and as quick as I could get them.
So, with that being said, if they would have said, "Hey, we're going to turn you to the corporation," which clearly is not going to sell as much merch, would that have ever put a pause on things, or you just?
No, not for me, because look, I always looked at like merch, and I still do to this day. Royalties, any of that. Look, that was a job I did, and they came up with shirts and just put them out there. I didn't do any of that. I didn't make the shirt. I didn't print it. I didn't come up with the idea for. We came up with ideas as we got over. Like, what do you want to do? Like DX Gym or whatever, whatever. Right.
And so they created it.
Yeah, and then they would
merch.
make it and sell it. And so to me, that was extra money. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you get a bunch of it and sometimes you don't get a bunch of it. But I would still bet there would be corporation shirts or you know what I mean? That would have done decent. So I don't know.
The next night on Raw, you take on Edge and Gangrel in a tag title defense, but Christian interferes and it's 3-on-2, and the corporation saves. This is quite the story, dog.
Yeah, because we are over. And so when I say over too, I want everybody to go back to 98, and I want everybody to watch some Raws from 98.
Yeah.
And then I want you to come back and see what over looked like. You know what I mean? Just go back, check out what it looked like, and then tell me again who in today's day and age. And I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about me and Billy. I'm talking about all.
Go watch a whole Raw. Yeah.
Go watch it. And see who you think's over, and then on today's day and age who's over. And that's a conversation I'm willing to have, because I'd like to hear the comparisons and see if I agree. Because I think, look, I'm cocky and I'm arrogant, but I will tell you if you're better than me, and there's a lot of son of a guns better than me out there. But man, over gets overused a lot these days. Oh, he's over. Is he? 500,000 people know who he is.
The show back then is really being built around you guys and what might happen with you joining the corporation. Had to feel nice to have the TV show wrapped around you at this time, man. Like you said, you guys were over.
We were over, and they were utilizing us as such. You know what I mean? And with the T's and the corporation and the. But yes, it felt great. I felt like, but at the time I wasn't in my right mind, so I felt like, yeah, we should be all over the friggin' show. We're awesome. You know what I mean? And I felt that way because of the response we've had for a year now or whatever, and I'm on dope, and so I'm not thinking straight. I'm not thinking about capitalizing on this fame in any way. I'm not talking about thinking about we should make this shirt, we should do this, I should invest in here, I should do this here.
Right.
I was just having a blast and hammered.
On Shotgun, the Outlaws defeat the DOA in a match where Vince and Shane watch on the ramp, and they seem to be very pleased by your victory. And from there, you
Cause
head
he's
to...
an ass man. Boom, boom.
From there, you head to Capital Carnage.
Yes.
Dog. The UK-only pay-per-view features you and Gunn defeating D'Lo and Mark Henry, but the finish comes out of nowhere after Gunn hits a fame-asser.
Oh, the
then a
fame-asser.
double down, and Billy gets a small package for 2, and then a pile driver for the win. In the middle of the match, Henry would hit you with a splash, and it was the last time you were seen. Did that hurt you? Did that hurt you?
It didn't hurt me. I was stuck in his belly button until he got back to the showers. I wish I would have thought of that earlier. I would have made the joke funnier. But or I would have tried anyway. But I don't remember that, to be quite honest with you. I would love to go back and look at Capital Carnage.
And see if you got hurt. You don't remember getting hurt, though.
No, I do
Okay.
not. And especially not at Capital Carnage. And we worked with them boys 1,000,000 times by then. You know what I mean? You heard we worked with them 7 days straight.
Yeah.
Before we went over there to do this show. So we had a good match by that time. You know, back then used to do your pay-per-view matches and stuff up front because they didn't have social media. So the guy in Spokane doesn't know that you're doing in Orlando tomorrow. He doesn't know you're doing the same match. You know what I mean?
And then
He may see it if he buys the PLE, but then he goes, I go, wow, I got your money at the live event and the PLE.
Would you guys go, hey, that worked tonight? Let's take that and save it for the
yes,
the
yes,
PLE and then
exactly.
do another
This'll
thing.
be-
That did not work.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
This will be our cutoff because this is a good heat spot. He shuts me down with this after the distraction, like whatever. Yes, we keep that. How much time we got? Okay, what we'll do is add some time up front when we play around up front. You know what I mean? A lot of the times back then, and I'm not trying to sound like waspy old wrestler, but we didn't have stuff. We knew the heat spot, and we just played up until then. And I'm talking quick and about wrestling. The heat spot is when the bad guys shut the good guy down. Bam! And now we're in the heat. And then they keep him down. He fights up. He gets a hope spot. You know what I mean? So it's just, to me, it's just stuff that's always been that way and always worked. Nowadays, people are because you can only orchestrate so many matches like that if you have a wrestling card of 6 singles matches. They can't all have the same equation or whatever
Right.
word I'm looking for. But people now call everything. Sit down and go, hey, at first we're going to lock up. And then I'll take your arm and I'll go behind you with a hammer lock or whatever it is, a wrist watch. And I don't know because I don't know how to do it anyway. I would say take my arm, spin it. When you spin it, I'm going to hit you. Just spin my arm. Ooh. That's what I did. I would throw a punch and a kick and a punch and a kick. And if I kick you in the knee, I'll kick you in
the
Ricky
chin.
Ticky Tabby.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Later that night, Heat airs
Yes.
taped because you weren't in 2 places at once. The Rock, Shamrock, and the Boss Man take on the Brood. Triple H and X-Pac run down to attack Boss Man and Shamrock. And finally, you two come out, and there's a square off between all 4 of you.
Oh, you son of a beastie.
You guys were not talking about anything, well, as far as you know, about the group being broken up at this time. You were just doing your thing.
Not in my conversation
All right.
circle.
The
In
next
my
night on-
conversation circle was like, did you get that, Graham? You didn't. You better call that mother.
You better call somebody. The next night on Raw, you and Billy come out in suits like you're joining the corporation, drinking little waters with your pinkies up, and you include Vincent K. McMahon in your new intro.
Yeah, we look like the Kingsmen.
You remember your name?
Yeah, it was Road Dogg Esquire.
Road Dogg Esquire and
Billy
Badass
Gunn. Badass Inc. I think it was.
The corporate outlaws. Sean comes down and just poops all over Hunter. That he owes him an apology for gimmick infringement. Hunter and Sean start going at each other.
Some places that's a fetish.
Boy, by the way.
That was so late. You were so late on that pop.
Well, it's like when, the music stops and then you say something outlandish and everybody goes, "What's happening over there?"
Yeah. That's my leg. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. By the way, Hunter and Sean going here, man. You said Sean really wasn't ready then.
Yeah.
Boy, if he was, Sean and Hunter going head to head.
Well, and look, with the corporation on one side and DX on the other side, it would have been great. It would have also been great, since we're talking about coulda, shoulda, woulda, if he would have come back and been all that a ruse, only to tell him to suck it, 2 tears in a bucket, and we buy the company or something. You know what I mean? Like DX runs the company for a year or something. So I don't know.
So much cool stuff
could have been fun. So much could have happened, but it's all speculation.
Well, here's what did happen. You two leave with Sean and tell DX to suck it, and it sets the stage for a match later that night. Triple H and X-Pac against Boss Man and Shamrock. Boy, that's fun to see as well, man. Speaking of what ifs.
Yeah.
That's
Boss Man and Shamrock just scare me to death. Like Shamrock scared me. Boss Man, I love Boss Man. I would say tag Ray. I would Ken would hit me and I would sell over to Ray and grab onto the ropes by Ray and just go, tag Ray.
In the Anything Goes match, Billy comes in and is asked to hit Hunter with a chair, but he turns and nails Shamrock, and you two rip off the Armani suits and show off the DX shirts as you guys have got one over on the corporation, man.
We sound cool. That was a cool little story, a cool little thread of a story where we tease. See, that's the kind of stuff. That's why the question was, they were teasing you a lot of stuff. It's a cool little ride to tell. And when you're writing episodic television, you gotta, it helps to have a good little thread in there that tells the story throughout to the end, where you pay it off with the big deal reveal. Suck it, corporation.
You guys wrestled twice on the Rock Bottom pay-per-view. Once on the pre-show against the Acolytes, which I guess was your punishment for turning on the McMahons. I mean, not much worse than having to go work with Bradshaw and Farouk, brother.
No. Nothing worse in the world.
You talk about a fight.
I'd rather stick an IED up my sternum and, than fight them dudes. Hey, so they beat us up. Was that the reason, or are you just joking?
No, I was just joking.
Well, it sounds like an awesome story beat. Like if the corporation made us work one time here and then defend the tag titles later or something.
Boss Man and Shamrock interfered to set up the match at pay-per-view later. So that's a little storyline there. You guys also...
Sorry.
Do you remember what you had to follow on that pay-per-view?
Yes. Crazy.
Deborah almost stripping.
No, I don't remember that. Honey.
You guys are getting ready. You missed the whole Deborah spot.
I was warming up backstage.
What's warm up for you, by the way?
Xanax bar.
Okay. Are you doing push-ups? Are you running in place? Stretching? Just pop it in the Xanny?
Maybe you didn't hear me say the Xanax bar part.
You just pop it and go, let's go?
Did I freeze or something?
How long before the match?
Sometime. No, I'm just
30
kidding.
minutes?
Because it was never like a specific thing. Sometimes I did stretch. You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of the times we joke and say oh, you took drugs before the match? Yeah, every one almost, except for the 2015 run.
All right, here we go. Let's get to this match. New Age Outlaws. This is from The Observer. New Age Outlaws beat Ken Shamrock and Big Boss Man to retain the WWF tag titles in 17 minutes and 4 seconds. These guys were in a bad position. How do you get a crowd interested after seeing a woman strip? Well, whatever it is, these guys didn't have the answer.
Whatever it is, they didn't do it.
By the way, he's got a good question. How do you get a crowd back in after we've seen a woman strip?
But it's also Meltzer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on. You take all that crap with a grain of salt because it's one person's opinion.
Here's what he says.
I'm not saying he's wrong because I don't remember the evening. But but like, it's just your opinion, dude.
He said, a long, boring match with only Shamrock looking good. Boss Man, unfortunately, is still Ray Traylor once the bell rings. Think that's been written in every single match he's worked, says Dave. They beat up Road Doggy. I love he called you Road Doggy. Most of the way until Billy Gunn, the single greatest athlete in all of sports, parentheses, although I'm still at a loss to what he's ever done to deserve that. Woo! He's on
fire. Yeah.
He said Billy made the hot tag after a powerbomb delivered off a Hurricane Rana by Ken on Billy, parentheses, you didn't think Billy was up there doing Hurricane Ranas, did you? Whoa. Gunn had the pin. Shawn Michaels pulled ref Tim White out of the ring. Boss Man then cracked both Outlaws with his nightstick, but as Shamrock went to pin Gunn, he kicked out. Gunn went to suplex Shamrock into the ring, but Michaels scooped his leg and Shamrock landed on top. But Gunn reversed it into a cradle for the pin. Finish was good. 3/4 stars.
That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like Dave Dave didn't like my match. Hey, ask me how much they took off my check because of that.
How much they take off your check for that?
They did. They didn't take any.
Oh, okay.
And guess what? They didn't ask him how much they should pay me either. Thank God.
Obviously, Meltzer not a fan of, and you've mentioned both of those guys. But did you enjoy working with them?
I didn't know
Shamrock and Boss Man.
Yeah, I loved it. I did love it. Look, I was scared of Ken Shamrock as a human being.
Are you
like he scares me? He's a sweetheart of a dude. He really is. But when he was younger, and when he's terrified me a couple of times, and I'm not going to go into either one of the times that they're there, but he's terrified me and made me scared of him. But not today. Today I love him, but like he was young and fought. Like he was the first guy I ever met that fought another human for fun. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't even mad at people. They touched gloves beforehand and stuff.
Let's put this to bed while we're here. Was Billy the single greatest athlete in the WWF at the time?
I don't know, because who judges and how do you judge? Like what? I watched him outrun Rock in the middle of a gym parking lot, and Rock had running shoes on, and Billy had high-tech boots untied. I watched him do that, and so that's a guy who played collegiate football, D1, right? That's a guy. Jeez. And this is Billy Gunn, who rode bulls for a living and got a scholarship for riding bulls. Smoked him, and I mean, so I've seen Billy compete in athletic competitions.
Yeah.
And win. You know what I mean? When he was young, when TNA, and we worked with Tom Coe and AJ Styles, or it may have been AJ and Christopher Daniels. But like, they would say, like, okay, tackle, drop down. I'll see if you can't beat me. You better leapfrog me. You better be there. And Billy would just outrun him as fast as he could. And if it messed up the spot, He would say, you better keep up. You better keep up.
Wow.
And it was just competitiveness. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't even know if that's a word, but just the thrill of competition.
Competition was always there.
So we played the fans on a Bruise Cruise, a Wrestle Vessel, whatever. We played the fans, and Billy and Shamrock were on the team, and me and the Headbangers. We talked about all these guys. We were all on the team, and I never seen anybody play as hard as Billy and Ken Shamrock. They tried to. They thought there was a trophy at the end of the game, I guess, but they were spiking it off of people's heads, and it was awesome to watch if you hadn't have been there to see the other team kid cry. You know what I mean? And Billy and them were diving for the ball, and I'm like, all right.
Meltzer, not a fan, gave you 3/4 stars, but that's not what it's about. That means it brings us to our 5-star review of the week.
0.5 star review. Oh.
Chuck Taylor won. I hope it's
Yeah.
Chuck Taylor.
CT Uno.
Is that from the Best Friends? Is that Chucky Taylor?
I have no idea.
Chuck Taylor said, one of my favorite podcasts. All these new wrestling podcasts have been great. It's a sport I loved as a kid, and now I can see there is a real depth and talent behind the magic. This podcast is the funniest and relaxing of the bunch. Love the quick back and forth between these guys. It's like listening to two guys having beers and storytelling. It's great. Check them out. Well, thank you, Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor. CT
How about
Uno.
that?
Yeah, thank you for that, dude. That makes me feel good. And really, I mean, that's the goal, right? Yeah, we talk about wrestling a little bit, and sometimes I go off on a tangent like earlier, but if you can follow me, it's quality stuff. You know what I mean? It's good stuff to hear if you're an upcoming wrestler.
It is two friends talking about wrestling and storytelling.
Yeah,
That's what it
100%.
is. Yeah.
100% just minus the beers. I
Wouldn't
think
want it any.
You snorted a line earlier, but I don't
got
think
my
we're-
zero sugar 7-Up. Woo, we're kicking tonight.
That's what I meant.
You've got next segment. Oh, this is great. DX imitates the corporation. We've got Triple H as The Rock, X-Pac with Shamrock, Rhodey as Vince with two small guys attached to him as Patterson and Briscoe, and Billy was Shane. Chyna is Boss Man. Dog, you start everything off with your Vince imitation. By the way, Meltzer said it wasn't that bad. Triple H has a painted on eyebrow, and Billy isn't wearing pants. Okay, first of all.
Was he Shane? I think he had a diaper on.
Yeah, he's Shane. First of all, apparently this segment's too hot for Peacock. It is no longer on the network, Dog.
Okay. It might have been.
Why do you think it's edited out?
I don't remember. I remember seeing a picture somewhere of this segment. So I have a vision in my head, but I don't remember the execution of it. But there were probably things said in the promo, I can imagine, with the people out there.
Well, here's one thing. You asked Briscoe how things taste behind you.
Well, I don't know what I meant by that. I must have left some catering back there.
I think he's up here. We're not sure if Billy had any chicken fat showing. He showed off his thong and says that Vince certainly isn't one of them. X-Pac says all this talk about sphincters is putting him in the zone. Chyna does a nice routine with a nightstick like a baton until she drops it. Triple H does a great heel Rock imitation by talking very slowly and talking about how sticking his own head in his own anal cavity goes.
Oh, man.
Maybe that's why it's edited out.
If I was only so limber.
There's also Commissioner Sean, played by
Shawn Michaels. Oh, no, Jason Sensation.
Jason Sensation.
Yeah.
What was better, this imitation or the Nation parody?
Look, I think the Nation was better, but it was insensitive. You know, looking on it now, it's so insensitive that it breaks my heart a little bit. But this one was entertaining too. You know what I mean? Jason Sensation was great in both of them, and so yeah, this one was fun too.
Later on that night, you would defend the tag team titles against Boss Man and Ken. With Gunn's knee worked on the whole match, he gets hit with the nightstick from Shawn Michaels, and the ankle lock is locked in. You guys dropped the titles. Was it time to drop the titles?
Yeah, we had them for a while and a couple of times, and so yeah, it was. I mean,
do they tell you why, or they just say you're going to drop them tonight?
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna put them on here, and are we gonna be working for them again? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're gonna go back to y'all and do this, and so it's and then I think we dropped them. I think they came back. We came back around 99 maybe and won them again or something. I don't remember when that was.
Yeah, from the breakup here, you would immediately go to the hardcore title division.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Which we've covered in the archives. You're there for Mick Foley winning the WWF title at ringside. Go listen to that. It's great to hear you always talk about that. Right there behind you, buddy.
Yep, there it is,
right
the hardcore title. Wrong. This one.
Last question for this time period. You guys were pulling away from WCW at this point. Was that a focus in the locker room? Were you even talking about it at this point? Or
No,
did you go, hey, we've already came over the hump and we're gone?
Yeah, by that time I felt like, oh, yeah, we smoked them a minute ago. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I feel like they were in the rear view. But I don't feel like a lot of us, and like I've said this before, I feel like in the office and in the boardrooms it was probably more talked about. But for me, we're just running full steam ahead, man. Just having a good time.
Hey, Dog, if your business targets 25 or 50-year-old men, there's no better place to advertise than right here with us on Oh, You Didn't Know. You've heard a lot of us do ads. You've heard us do ads for a lot of people. Yep. For some of the same companies for many years. You know why? Because it works with our super targeted audience. There's very little waste. If you'd like to jump on the show, we would love to talk about your product. Go to advertisewithdogg.com. That's advertisewithdogg.com. Find out more about how advertising with Oh You Didn't Know can go for you. Doesn't matter your plan, your event, your gimmick, your
safe as quay.
Whatever it is.
Your Fernum.
We will sell Fernums with the best of them.
I can sell Fernums to a woman in white gloves.
Wow.
I'm not even sure.
That sounds serious.
Yeah.
All right, Dog, let's get to some fan questions. Good questions, too. We've got, let's go back to WCW. Hit us up on Twitter. He said, what did you think of Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man as a tag team? Did you think their chemistry was good together?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I do think it was a weird tag team, and I want to go back, too, about what Dave Meltzer said. I don't know what he meant by Ray Traylor when the bell rung, but a lot of people really liked working with Ray Traylor, but you know, you wouldn't know that because you've never been in a wrestling ring.
I watched him and always thought how graceful he moved for a big man.
Maybe I'm just judging because how I feel. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't mean that. Maybe he meant that was a good thing. And if he did,
didn't sound like it.
It didn't sound. He didn't have too many good things to say about any of that.
Maybe it was the tone of the rest of it that got us sidetracked.
So the question here was, were they a good team? I mean, they were great to work with as a team. It was just a strange team in my mind. Like those are not two I would have seen put together. You know. Did
they hang out backstage or anything? Or like
no.
Okay. So this wasn't natural. Hey, we hang together. Let's go work together.
No, it wasn't like that. It was just like, and look, I don't, you know, as far as henchmen and the corporation go, like, I'd have those two guys. I'd have those two dudes as my dudes, you know.
Ultra Nuclear Poodlehead tweeted us.
I spoke with him today.
At You Didn't Know Pod, at the Casio Kid, at Brian R.D. James. Mm-hmm. He said, thoughts on poodles. Or I said he.
Yeah,
the poodle said thoughts on poodles.
I'm not sure either, but I told him this. I love all dogs and all breeds. I've never had a poodle. She or he commented about labradoodles, but the poodle is like the poodles are pretty big, I think.
Oh, they got tiny ones too.
Well, they have little bitty ones too, but I think the real poodle like that I've seen on the Westminster Dog Show or whatever, like a big old dog. And so I don't know, I've never had one, but I've seen those little poodles that run around and they're cute. I would like one of those.
Danks Dayton. Old Dayton J hit us up.
Dayton J Danks.
Dog, if you were one of Santa's elves in December 1998, what would you be making? And blunts is not a valid answer, he said. Hashtag OUDK. As always, love you, matey.
Love you, mate. Hey, I wouldn't make a blunt. Even when I smoked, I wasn't a blunt guy.
Okay.
But I would probably, what would I be making?
A bad decision.
A lot of those up front.
Bad financial decision.
Bad Santa. I'll tell you that much. What I got early on, and I don't remember what year it was a fishing game that it was a rod and a reel, but the game was on there, and you put your thumb on it and cast.
Oh, fake cast. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah.
And then you'd see fish swimming underneath, and you try to get it. You try to catch the fish, and then when you catch it, it would go zzz, like in your hand. It would make. Dude, I've played that thing backstage and on on planes, and I used to love that game. Maybe that's what I would have made.
I would, as a kid who was locked into wrestling, I would have loved to look over at the airport and see Road Dogg playing a fishing game. And boy, that would have popped to me, son.
You've seen me.
Carl Hayes, the big CH, baby.
Mm-hmm.
He says, are you working backstage for Holiday Tour? I've got VIP for TD Garden on 12/27. I'm planning on repping the mountain critters worldwide.
I am not planning on being there right now, but I do appreciate you being there, and also you being a VIP, because those VIPs get a good experience, but you don't understand how, from a financial standpoint, how much that will lift a house to have several VIPs get back there and meet the talent and talk with them, sign photos. They get treated well, but it's nice financially too when I see the house at the end of the night, what it is. That little bonus helps.
He also says, do you realize the happiness your appearance on SmackDown brought to the listeners? I legit popped. That's ones, not two O's. Popped, not pooped. That was later, he said. And I was immediately hoping Casio Kid would be there. The laughter and happiness you two share makes the world better. How about that, Dog?
Man. Yeah, thank you.
Whew. Henry said, Mr. W. Fryett.
Yeah,
says,
HW Fry.
He says
Big
December
Fry.
98.
Ain't we call him Big Fry?
He said December 98, Attitude Era. All I remember was being there live and not being able to see because of all the damn signs. LOL. Any signs from that era just make you bust out laughing when you think of them?
No, but talk about. So I mentioned it earlier. Me and Kid X-Pac would just stand in the back like Bill Hunter would be talking or whatever, and we would just look and go, "Look at that one, man," and we would laugh. And I don't. One I do remember though is the one time they brought my whole saying, like, "Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody." Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and it was a whole section holding signs up, and it was all. There's pictures of that somewhere. It was impressive because it took some coordinating. You know what I mean? It left me happy.
Somebody found that footage.
There's a picture of that somewhere. Last.
WSI Wrestling Shoot interviews hit us up and says, Dog,
yeah,
why Vince Russo was constantly teasing DX splits throughout '98. This will be around the time NOA joined the corporation for a week.
That was exactly what we just went through. You know, so perfect timing on that. But look,
just good storytelling,
I liked it.
right?
I thought it was good storytelling, and I know we went to it a couple of times because it worked a couple of times. And also, you know, like I said, I don't know what the conversations were backstage, but it also was a time where, hey, there's a lot of stars here. Maybe DX, all 4 or 5 people don't need to be together. You know what I mean? Like maybe we can get 4 different acts out of this thing, you know?
Right.
And so I understand the thinking, and I would have loved to have been the New Age Outlaws forever and been the tag team champions forever. But he quit me. He quit me for...
Here we go.
Chuck Palumbo. You had your motorcycle sex parties and Xanax weight bench bars.
Chewing on each other's chicken fat.
Chewing chicken fat
in front of each other.
Sorry.
It's always emotional when Palumbo gets brought up.
When Palumbo comes around.
Johan Bringer.
Palumbo comes around.
Oh. Johan Bringer at Stormbringer420.
Whoa, a lot going on there.
James at the Casio Kid. He said, who from the undercard or midcard did you wish you could have had a run against or form an alliance with? Something you spotted or desired, but maybe most people wouldn't have thought of it.
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. And a lot of the times I think ideas happen because of other stuff. Like you go, you know, like we talked about, like why is Shamrock and Boss Man a tag team? And so sometimes you just have a thing with somebody and you go, oh man, this is good. I hope I stay with him for a minute. Now, look, I loved working with Val Venus. And I think Val Venus would have been a good addition into DX during that time for sure, just because I think of all the pointing at our PPs. So I think it would have worked well. But so I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's actually could have been good too. The Road Dogg and the Godfather could have been a good tag team together.
Dogfather.
I agree with that. That's just an idea there, but I think we were. He's a hell of a lot tougher than me, but I think we were similar in style and size and stuff. So yeah, we would have been a good team.
Slow Baby 420 hit us. I'm seeing a theme here.
No, but the baby shouldn't be. It should not be any 420 in a baby because it will make a baby slow.
Yeah, it slows it down. That's for sure.
Oh, but he said slow baby 420.
Yeah,
okay.
slow baby 420.
Look, you're owning it.
He said, this is back 98.
This is a baby talking.
Yes. Did you prefer? Did you prefer live television or house shows?
Wow, you're Kermit the Frog's baby. So I think they're two. I answered this on Twitter too, but I think it's two totally different animals, and I love them both because I think what you can do at live events is really learn and play and try and do and see what works, like we talked about earlier, see what doesn't. And that goes with spots with another guy or individual stuff, like we talked about me kind of evolving a little bit earlier. So live events is so organic and so real in the moment. When I'm backstage producing live television, there's nothing like that rush because you're in the frying pan, man, and you got 2 hours of live TV to go with some commercial breaks in between and a lot of ships to harbor and a lot of planes to land. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on, and so it's really energetic and fun and a mental a mind F if you let it be. But if you just go with your gut and you're making calls it's just so cool to me that I love live television. I love television wrestling. I love the act of framing a talent that looks like a superstar and that has just done some crazy athletic maneuver and now he climbs up there and what shot you take, like all that crap. Tickles my fancy, you know what I mean? So I'm a live TV guy, but not everybody's the same way as I am. You know, I just love riding that lightning for 2 hours, for 3 hours, whatever. You're just running, and when you get done, you go, okay, was that any good? Was the show any good? And then they go, yeah, it was really good. We have to do better than that next week. And you go like, oh,
thanks. WWF ref. I don't know if he's a legit WWF ref. Could be any of them. He or she could be one of them.
We're about to find out.
But WWF ref says, what two current singles superstars would make a successful team if thrown together like the New Age Outlaws? Oh. Well, we just had two thrown together, which is Austin and Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, right?
I wouldn't have thought to put them together, but now they're together. That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And they're both swell lookers and young gentlemen, and both have legitimate heat. Like, I want to slap both of them.
Wouldn't have thought about Cody and Uso together, but they made
No, but that was the team I didn't know I wanted, right?
Yeah.
Otis and Bronson Reed.
Whoa. Big
and
boys.
I want to do what's the tsunami and the tidal wave and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, the natural disasters.
I want them to be the natural disasters.
Yes.
They can be Niz Diz. Yeah, they would be bad.
All right, and last but not least, former 15-minute of Flame guest Vinny Pacifico checking in.
Sweet Vinny Pac.
Vinny says, Dog, what's your favorite holiday dessert?
That sounded like gold dust. I almost went.
That's how I feel when the desserts come out too.
I remember in Waterboy, it just comes over and the guy's just going like, no. What's my favorite? Hey, so I'm going to be honest. My wife makes a chocolate pecan pie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's probably my favorite thing in the history of history.
Wow. Pecan pie was
Except
my first
for
go-to.
the Battle of Chapultepec.
That's also good in
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also good.
It's where them are anyway.
Dog, we're I don't know if we want to give a hint or not, but
Oh my Lord! About our guest coming up.
yeah, we've got.
I'll tell you this much: one is short, one is not.
Okay.
One.
That's technically right. Don't.
No, that's enough, right?
That's enough. Yeah. That's enough.
I
That's
wanna
enough.
say-
No.
I want to say one word,
No.
but it might give it away.
It's going to give it away.
Okay.
I don't even know what you're going to say, but if you're thinking it's going to give it away, it's going to give it away.
Butthole.
I didn't see that word coming. I had a lot of words.
That wasn't
A
one
lot
of
of words? No,
them. Okay.
that wasn't the list.
That
Okay.
wasn't the word I was going to say.
All right. It works. We'll
Catapult.
figure out why.
Yeah.
Be looking for buttholes coming up. Dog, before we get to Top Dog and before we get to the Thankful Minute, of course, coming off of Thanksgiving, we got to make sure we get that Thankful Minute in there. We will encourage you. We would be thankful if you would like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star
Amen.
rating on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter at BrownRDJames, at the Casio Kid. The show, of course, at You Didn't Know Pod. That's where you can interact with us. YTXs. And we also have, you can get questions in like we read here.
Yep.
And speaking of YTXs, we've got some new YTX
new
merchandise over
Yep.
at boxofgimmicks.com. Look at that hot logo.
Yeah, that's the new hot logo we ripped off. It says YTX. That's our YouTube exclusive that we do before we record usually. But yeah, I'm gonna get one of them hoodies and one of them beanies, big dog.
So check that out at boxofgimmicks.com. You can see all the latest merchandise there. New things adding.
Yeah,
hopefully
also
every
holiday.
week.
Yeah, there it is, a holiday. Look at the Mountain Critter cutting board. I think that is if you cut
That's a-
little bitty stuff, and
Yeah.
then
Baby carrots.
the Happy Holidog. Boxofgimmicks.com, the wrapping paper. So you can wrap your loving. When you freeze it, you can wrap it in the dog and then give it away. And as it thaws under the Christmas tree, it'll be funny.
By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, turn on those notifications. You'll get the YTX notification. You'll get that when we go live and new content gets posted. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, and even if you're not, go over to YouTube and comment below what two superstars would you like to see thrown together and maybe make a fun tag team. That would be fun to hear from everybody. Current single superstars thrown together at a tag team. Tell us who you would like to see in the comment section below. All right, dog. We got to get to Top Dog.
What? Oh, okay.
Top Dog. That's where I give you 3 names. You tell me, are you a better sports entertainer than these 3 individuals? Are you ready?
Oh, God, I'm not sure. I'll just go.
Are you a better sports entertainer than Randy the Ram Robinson?
Yes.
Oh.
He sucks.
He sucks. And then we're just talking about the Ram. We're not necessarily talking about
the individual himself.
Yes, we're talking about the Ram.
Yeah, Robbie the Ram Johnson.
Oof. Here we go. See,
Oh, God.
by the way,
See, they're trying to get me heat. Ain't they?
Dom does this to you.
I love it. I like it. I like that.
All right.
Throw it at me.
Are you a better sports entertainer than Will Ospreay, bruv?
Oh. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a better wrestler than Will Ospreay. Not a better professional wrestler.
Okay. He
He can't even speak.
Bruv?
The English bruv.
he's still got a long way in his career. You never know.
Does he? He's broken in halfway. Bless his heart. He's 16 years old, and he's already had 17 knee replacements and had them horse knees put in that Hunter had.
All right, here we go. Are you a better?
I'm just kidding. That kid is incredible. I'm busting chops,
we're
of
just
course.
having fun.
That kid is stinking incredible, and could work circles around me on day one and on my best day. So I'm not saying anything like that. But the kid ain't a WWE Hall of Famer just yet.
All right, here we go. Last but not least, are you a better sports entertainer than Scott Hall?
No.
Woo!
No,
cool.
He's got a long list of character talents that he got over and that he did. And Razor Ramon was one of the greatest characters. If it could have, I don't know that it had longevity, but with his size, he could have been Razor Ramon still. You know what I mean?
We'll all sign up for it if we could.
Yeah, I would, because I love Scott Hall, like Scott Hall. That's it. That's all.
Well, I mean, there was no time. There was nobody cooler.
No.
Him and Nash and Hall, but I'm saying their own different ways. But when you saw that, you go, well, that's the epitome of cool.
To me, the first thing I think of is Razor Ramon. I don't think of Scott Hall. And truth be told, I saw him when he was big Scott Hall, teaming with Mr. Perfect. You know what I mean? In AWA and stuff. And then he went to Tampa, and so he was in Florida.
Sweet stash.
Yeah, beautiful hair, beautiful. He was huge. Go back and look at some of his WCW stuff when he was the Diamond Stud. Dude, he was 300 pounds with friggin' abs. So, yeah, Big Scott, man. Big Scott was a great dude. Greatly missed.
All right, Dog, before we get out of here, we want to make sure we spread positivity before we get out of here. That's why we give the Thankful Minute. Coming off Thanksgiving as well. So we're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. We'll give the mic to you and you only, and you tell us what you're thankful for in your life. It's the Thankful Minute.
Yep. So we talked about recently having the newborn goats. I really love having the farm animals and have them. We get to go through all that stuff with them, and then we have these babies, and it keeps cuteness and love around you, like it's at all times. If you want to, hey, let's go out and see the baby goats, you know what I mean? And you go out and you hold them, and it's just going to bring you some joy. And to see them come into the world, and that we know the mother, and we've had babies with her before, and she's really good at it. And excuse me, I told my wife, I was like, that goat's like you just go to the hospital and have a baby, and an hour later there's a baby there, and you know what I mean, like you're just a pro at it. And so I'm thankful that we have that kind of stuff in our life, that kind of life in our life, that brings joy to us, and it don't cost much.
How about that? Boom.
Yeah, the baby goats.
Well, brother, I had fun. This was a fun one.
I did
about
too.
The end of '98.
Talking about the Attitude Era is always fun. I don't always remember a lot of it, but it always brings back good memories. And it teaches me some things too. And I go like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Look, I know everyone listening to this is probably a fan. If not, if for some reason you missed that, if it was a little before your time, or maybe you'd fallen out with wrestling then, go back and watch it. It still holds up as just super fun stuff to watch back then. So go check that out on Peacock. Watch all the old stuff. Dog, we mentioned.
Except for the Vince McMahon imitation.
Yeah, you can't see that. It's edited out for our protection.
Yeah, but all the other stuff.
Everything else is there. Dog, we had, like we teased, a couple great guests coming up before the end of the year.
Very great guests.
Y'all are going to love that. And this was a good one. And if you didn't like it, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it. Oh, I'm Kurgan.